I'm Steve Johnson with Nebraska Star Beef. Today we're going to go over a traditional favorite this time of year. St. Patrick's Day coming up on the 17th. We are going to talk a little bit about corned beef. Corned beef actually has nothing to do with corn. The corn that they're referring to in corned beef is actually a kernel or a coarse kernel of salt, because corned beef is actually a brined beef brisket. Today we're going to go over how to make a brine, how to put that brine on the brisket, how long to leave it in the fridge, and all that good stuff. We're putting a little bit of a Nebraska Star Beef spin on the recipe. It's actually one that we found from Alton Brown on his website. Really simple, really straightforward. But do yourself a favor this St. Patrick's Day. Pick up a brisket flat. Learn how to make your own corned beef, and I think you'll be happy you did. We'll go ahead and start by adding 8 cups of water to our stock pot. 1 cup of kosher salt, half a cup of brown sugar. We've got a cinnamon stick broken into a number of pieces, a teaspoon of mustard seeds, and we've actually broken a few of those up with the back of our knife to open them up a little more. A teaspoon of black peppercorns, 8 whole cloves, 8 allspice berries, along with a few that we broke up, half a teaspoon of ginger, ground, 2 large bay leaves, crushed, 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Now this is where we're starting to put our own twist on things. And then we always like to add a little bit of our Nebraska Star Beef signature seasoning to any of our recipes. And this one will work particularly well in a brine like this. And we're just going to go ahead and add, better part of a teaspoon. The recipe calls for 1 stalk of celery, but I mentioned that we're eliminating the sodium nitrate. Celery's got some preserving qualities in it. Celery juice powder is actually what we use in a number of our beef jerky products as a preservative instead of sodium nitrate. So that's why we're using 2 extra stalks of celery. Vegetables have been washed, so they're ready to be cut and dropped in the pot. And we're just going to chop everything coarsely. Put that into our brine. Put our onion in, and we're only gonna quarter the onion. So quarter our onion. Break it up a little bit as we drop it in. Finally, our carrots. And the recipe calls for 1 large carrot, so we're going to use 2 medium-sized because that's what we had. Discard the stem end. And you go ahead and add that to the brine. And now we're going to go ahead and cook the brine. You can see we've got the brine heated up. It's a nice slow rolling boil. You can see the onions are starting to clarify. That means the flavor and the juice from the onion is going into the solution, and all of those awesome flavors are being blended together and going into the water, into the brine that we've created. The heat also helps the brown sugar and the salt to go into solution, and that's very important when making a brine, so that all of those flavors will find their way into the brisket. And that's really what we're after here. We're going to let this go for about another 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and shut the heat off. And the recipe calls for 2 pounds of ice. We've just got some fresh bagged ice here. And what the ice is going to do is cool this brine off. It's going to keep the salt and sugar in solution, but we're going to cool it down so we can go ahead and put it on our brisket without starting to cook the brisket. So we'll go ahead and do that now. This is a Nebraska Star Beef all-natural brisket flat, which just happened to be on sale on our website, www.nebraskastarbeef.com. Now we've got our brisket in our brining pan. We're going to take our brining solution and we're going to add this to our brisket. go ahead and scoop them out. A little bit. Go ahead and cover our pan and go into the refrigerator. All right, we've got our Nebraska Star Beef Brisket Flat brining. We're going to leave it there for 7 days. Then we'll come back, take it out of the brine, and we will cook it. And we'll go over all the cooking instructions for the brisket at that time. But 7 days from now, we're going to have some awesome corned beef.